Hello everyone, Ogre27 Kane here, and we're going to do a very special month of The Legend of Zelda. Now, I am super hyped for Tears of the Kingdom on May 12th, so for a special occasion, I have 4 episodes of The Legend of Zelda planned for this month to lead us up to it. I don't know if you guys are as hyped as I am, but I haven't been this excited since 2017. Now, this is the first of the 4 episodes, and a very special episode to me because it's a remake of one of my childhood games. So, without further ado, we are going to do a review of The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening for the Nintendo Switch. Let's do a real quick overview and find out what this game's all about. Now, this is a remake of the Game Boy title from way back in the day. It's pretty much a one-to-one, very faithful remake of that Game Boy title. Although having much better graphics and animation and much better sound, it still is very faithful to the original. All of the placements, all of the secrets, all of the dungeons, everything are here, including a couple of extras. But luckily, none of them changed the game from what you remember or what you know. So you can sit back and enjoy everything. First up, let's talk about the story. The story starts out with Link on a boat. He gets stuck in a thunderstorm in which the boat gets struck by lightning and blown to pieces. Link then finds himself washed up on shore and rescued by a girl named Marin, who takes him back to her village, Maybe Village. She then nurses him back to health, and he sets forth on an adventure to figure out what's going on this island of Koholint, the Windfish Island. Now, right away, Link discovers that there's something off and there's something different. Although he has a lot of familiar weapons and tools at his disposal and a lot of familiar enemies, the world just doesn't seem quite there. It's on an island that's unknown and never been seen before, yet somehow is large enough to sustain this population of creatures from everywhere Link's been on his journeys. Although starting out innocently enough, just a journey of exploration, it turns into this investigation to figure out what exactly is going on this island. The Windfish slumbers atop the very top hill, and all of these other creatures vie for dominance. In the meantime, Link must figure out what is happening. Well, let's get into the next category, the gameplay. The gameplay in this is a return to form in the top-down 2D nature of the original Zelda styles. This is probably the closest and the best thing we'll get like this on the Nintendo Switch. Nintendo seems very obsessed with the new 3D open world styles of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and rightfully so. Those games are fantastic, but it's nice to have a good callback and an old Zelda that we can play that looks beautiful. I'll be honest, I wouldn't be opposed to them remaking Link to the Past in this style. I know it's controversial, but the game looks beautiful, and I think that game would certainly benefit from the remake. Although not introducing any new mechanics, the mechanics that are in this game are very sound. I love having the feather to jump, and some of the other weapons and abilities are unique to this game as well. The map is also really cool and unique too. It's not a traditional map of Hyrule, and it wasn't used nor will probably ever be used in another Zelda game. The other main feature to gameplay that I really enjoy and love are the dungeons. It is super nice to have all of these traditional dungeons that you can figure out and solve puzzles to get in and explore, and the feeling of satisfaction and enjoyment of conquering each one and getting their set ability or weapon or item. Although playing this game back on the original Game Boy and doing all of these puzzles, playing it on the remake felt fresh and new again. Even though I knew what I was doing, it was still really fun to do it, and there were some of the puzzles that I had forgotten how to do and had to re-explore again. The world in this game is actually really large for a Game Boy game. So let's get into the next category now, the combat. Although very much being a traditional Zelda style, you have your sword and shield and your simple moves. The combat in this game is really fun and engaging. Using the hook shot is a cool way to take down enemies along with the boomerang. You also have this magic wand that shoots fire that's pretty fun as well. One really cool and unique use of combat though in this game is the use of the Roc's Feather in combination with the sword. It allows you to jump into enemies or jump over enemies and allows you to do more than just walk around in circles and hold your shield up. I really enjoyed having a lot of flexibility to my combat and being able to maneuver a lot more than I could in, say, A Link to the Past. Although not really introducing anything else, the combat is very solid and very enjoyable in this game. I don't see any reason why Nintendo would need to change anything on it, even though this is a remake, so I'm very grateful to see that it's true to its original nature. I guess the last thing that I want to say about combat is that all the boss fights are unique and have their own puzzles. They all utilize the weapons and mechanics given to you in the dungeon, and all of them require you to do something special. I really enjoy this aspect about Zelda games, and this game is no different. It is definitely up there with all the others, and the puzzles are great. Let's get into the next category of controls and audio now. Well, let's start up first with the controls, and the controls are very faithful to the original. There's a certain amount of floatiness that you can see to your character, but it doesn't really hinder you, and it allows your character to move just fine. There are a few options to change, but nothing drastic, because everything requires you to use a certain button and mechanic in the way that it's built. They don't allow you to change too much, but you can change the items that you're using through the menu itself and which button order you want to use, Y and X, and so on and so forth. Well, the last thing I want to say is that the audio is fantastic in this game. It is a traditional Zelda game and very true to its form. If you love Zelda music, you'll love this. Let's talk about the graphics and animations now. The graphics in this game are a little bit controversial. I know some people don't like the way they kind of look a little bit plastic and the way the edges of the screen blur, but to me I think it's all part of the aesthetic, and I think they did a fantastic job. I love Grezzo as a studio, and I think they did really good on the Ocarina of Time remake as well. The aesthetic lends itself very well to the art style, and it's very pleasing on the eye. The frame rate is very consistent as well, and the animations are gorgeous. As you can see there, everything runs smoothly. There are a few chops here and there, but nothing that you'd consider to be out of place or anything wrong with the game. It is certainly much better than a Pokemon. I know that there was a patch that supposedly addressed some of the issues that people had, but I'll be completely honest, I bought this on day one and I played it without any issues. The patch does enhance a little bit, but it doesn't change the game. It's still an absolutely gorgeous game and it runs absolutely perfectly. Let's do the conclusion now. Well, in conclusion, I think that Grezzo did a fantastic job with the remake on this. I couldn't be happier with their work. I know that some people are upset about it and are not too happy with some of the art style, but to me, I think they nailed it. This is definitely worthy of the Zelda name, and it definitely is a fantastic and faithful remake of the original game. If you have any nostalgia for this game, it is definitely a must-buy and a must-play. Well, that concludes our Chapter 1 of the month of Zelda. I'm really hyped for Tears of the Kingdom, and I can't wait for next week's episode. Well, thank you for watching this video. It was an absolute blast to make. I upload every single Monday. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and have a great rest of your day. This is Ogre27Kane signing out.